What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. Today's feature blade is from Ganzo. What we've got is the brand new Ganzo Firebird FH11 model. Now this is the FH11-GB, the GB standing for green blue, which is what they're saying this G10 color is. But this is a pretty true color representation I'm seeing under my lighting here, guys. To me, it looks more like a forest green. It's actually pretty subtle and very attractive. And what we've got here, obviously, is a Kwaiken top design from Ganzo, and a very sort of modern traditional Kwaiken folder design, straight handle, straight blade with a a moderately upswept tip, reminiscent of a Tanto type blade. Although on the Ganzo, the blade profile is a little less Asian than on a lot of Kwaiken type knives. But this knife, guys, I have a nickname for this knife, and what I am calling this knife is the Game Changer. And it is a game changer for Ganzo Firebird, and I think also for the budget knife arena. And we'll talk more about that as we go through this video, but I want to throw some numbers at you first. And the first number I'm going to throw at you is the price. This knife is $22.60 in this version. Now that is priced from Power Cutlery, which is where I got this. And then you throw on $2.99 for shipping, so you're looking at $25 shipped for this knife. And you're going to say, well, Baz on Blades, it's a Ganzo, that you can kick a Ganzo up out of the dirt for $10. Yeah, but this is different, guys. This is a game changer for Ganzo, and I think it's going to be a game changer in the budget arena. And you know what? That budget arena, guys, is getting pretty doggone competitive. Let's go ahead and knock some specs out on this. It is a full-size knife. You're looking at a 3.5-inch blade length, and that's about 8.5 centimeters. Your blade stock thickness is a pretty substantial 133 thousandths of an inch, or 3.37 millimeters. Your blade width, it's a fairly narrow blade profile. You're at 863 thousandths of an inch, or 21.9 millimeters. The handle length, 4 5/8 of an inch, or slightly less than 12 centimeters. Handle thickness, a fairly standard 527 thousandths of an inch, or 13.4 millimeters. Your handle width at the widest is 964 thousandths of an inch, or 24.4 millimeters. Your closed width is pretty close to that, because this design, the blade basically fully nests, but will include the flipper tab up here, and you are looking at 1.19 inches, or 30.3 millimeters. Your overall length is 8 1/8 inch, or 20.5 centimeters. The stop pin diameter is 118 thousandths of an inch, or 3 millimeters. Behind the edge thickness, now I measured this in 3 different spots, averaged it out, and it averaged between 20 and 22 thousandths of an inch. That's about 0.55 to 0.58 millimeters. The handle to blade ratio, a very good 0.75, and your weight, 3.95 ounces, or 112 grams. And that is actually fairly lightweight for this type of build, guys. And as we look at the build type, you realize it is fairly lightweight at 3.95 ounces, under 4 ounces. All right. Packaging wise, guys, it's Ganzo. You've got the standard Ganzo Firebird box in here, and there's your label on it. And then of course it is a sort of shelf, or not shelf, but drawer type box, and the knife will come in a little bubble bag. And then you've got the Ganzo Firebird branded microfiber pouch, much like what Benchmade does with their knives. Good packaging on a knife that's $22.60, guys. And packaging aside, let's talk about this knife. Why is this knife such a game changer, Baz on Blades? Well, guys, we are used to seeing in Ganzo knives a certain type of build, a certain type of materials, and a certain level of build quality. And this knife changes all of those things. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the blade steel. And Ganzo is well known to use 440C stainless, which I like 440C stainless, okay? It's an older stainless steel. It's a very basic compounded stainless steel. But that's what Ganzo uses. And you know, at a knife that's $15 or $20, it's not any big deal. But this knife, Ganzo has changed that up, and they are using, take a look at this, D2 tool steel in this knife for $25 shipped, guys. D2 tool steel. And D2 tool steel, a little short bit of information on it. It is a semi-stainless tool steel. You're looking at 1.5 to 1.6% carbon content, 11.5 to 12% chromium content, and it is vanadium alloyed at 0.9 to 1.1% vanadium. As far as Rockwell hardness, you can expect D2 to come from most manufacturers in the 60 to 62 Rockwell range. And what you're going to get out of this steel as far as edge retention and wear resistance, good to very good edge retention. D2 tends to take a very toothy, razor sharp edge, and it will lose that razor sharp edge, but it will hold on to a working edge for a very long time. D2 is a very good working steel. Now, as far as toughness, D2 can be a little chippy under impact, but in a folding knife like this where you're not going to be beating it on anything, that should not be an issue. You're looking at okay toughness and impact resistance. Now, as far as corrosion goes, there's some misunderstandings about D2. D2 is a semi-stainless tool steel, meaning that it just misses the stainless qualification by about 1.5% chromium. I think the cutoff is about 13.5% in the alloy. So at 11.5 to 12%, it is right at being stainless, but is not stainless. So it will tarnish, it will patina, it will rust without a modicum of care. But it's not like a carbon steel where that is just going to go crazy, run away, and rust. You know, I use Tough Glide on all of my knives. I've never had any type of knife steel ever rust, including D2 with just a modicum of care. D2 is a great steel, guys. I'm a D2 lover, especially in a small folding blade. It can be a little tough to sharpen, so you want to maintain the edge and not let it get too dull, but it does have great edge retention. Now, into the handle here, we have G10 slabs over inset stainless liners, guys, for a liner lock. And this G10 is fully machined, and you can see here it is concaved. There you go, guys. See that? You've got some very good, nice looking machining on it, and it is very clean. It is machined as well as any of the G10 knives out on the market right now, guys. I mean, it is a very cleanly machined. No issues there at all. Like I say, the stainless liners are inset. They are not weight relieved, but you're still under 4 ounces with a 3.5-inch blade on this knife. That's pretty doggone good. All your small hardware is stainless steel, and it is in an as-machined satin finish, and you do have a moderately polished fold-over deep carry pocket clip, and it's a pretty decent design, guys. But there you go, material-wise, D2 in your blade, a step up for Ganzo, and as far as I know, nobody is offering D2 in this type of build for $25, guys. Some great looking G10. It's very well done. Stainless liners, stainless small hardware. Now, fit and finish on this knife. You know, the fit and finish is, some of it is Ganzo fit and finish, and some of it is a step up. As far as the handle goes, everything in the handle is a step up for Ganzo. This is finished better than any Ganzo knife that I have seen, guys. It's, you know what, it's, doggone it, it's so close to a lot of the other more popular budget offerings out there. And in particular, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in this knife, and that is the Best Tech Paladin, one of my favorite knives for 2018. Best Tech does a fantastic budget knife, and we're going to bring these up here, and we're going to, you know, sort of look around them here, guys. They are the same exact build type. We're talking G10 scales, G10 backspacer, inset stainless liners with a liner lock, stainless, you know, stamped steel pocket clip, deep carry on the Ganzo, and just standard carry for the Best Tech. But I mean, really look at these guys. So as far as the fit and finish on this handle, guys, they're pretty much right on par with each other. Now, where this Ganzo lacks a little bit is in the blade finish. Now, the actual finish of the blade, this machine satin, is good. The primary grinds are good. The grind juncture with the swedge is very good, guys. The plunges are even on this. You've got a fairly tight plunge grind on this with a small but very good and workable sharpening choil. My problem with this, the fit and finish on this blade, is purely with the edge grind, and it is uneven side to side. You see how narrow it is on the show side, and then look at the back side, guys, and that is common with Ganzo knives. Freehanding an edge on a knife sitting in front of a belt grinder is an art in itself, and that's it's common to see uneven edges on budget knives, guys. And remember, we're talking $25. So overall fit and finish wise on the knife is great. It's fabulous, guys. It is a step up for Ganzo, except for that edge grind, and you know what, I think I would probably just resharpen that and be pretty doggone happy with it. No issues there. I can't say enough about fit and finish on this knife, guys. Now, as far as action goes, this knife, again, very comparable to this Best Tech Paladin. The Paladin at $52 and this knife at $25. Less than half the cost of the Paladin. Less than half the cost for the same blade steel, the same handle materials, the same build type. All of that is the same. And something else that's the same, this knife is on a ball bearing pivot. Now, where the Best Tech is on ceramic bearings and ceramic detent, this one is on steel bearings and steel detent. But it is, guys, it is absolutely fabulous. Yeah, it is just, it's fabulous, guys. You know, that's a $25 knife with D2, with great G10 inset liners, guys. Here we go again. It's a game changer. This is a game changer, guys. This is 9/10 what this knife is right here. 9/10, guys. Really, the only thing you're losing, there is a finite difference in fit and finish, mostly in the blade itself, where the Best Tech just smokes the Ganzo here. But you're getting D2 blade steel, G10 in stainless, bearing pivots, your ceramic in the Bestech, and stainless in the Ganzo. But guys, really, for all, for all intents and purposes, they're the same knife. And one is less than half the cost of the others. Even for those guys that are really into the new Civivi knives from We Knife, in those knives, you're looking at 9CR stainless for the blade steel, stainless bearing pivot in D10, G10 over stainless liners, pretty much the same thing, except this knife from Ganzo has a better blade steel. I don't think anybody is going to argue that 9CR is going to outperform D2. D2 is just a better blade steel. And all other things being equal, this knife at $25, I can see a lot of people going for it rather than the Civivi knives at $42. Again, you're just slightly more than half the cost of the Civivi here. And I don't have one of those knives in hand, but I have handled a lot of G10 stuff from We, and I know it's going to be super high quality. But I'm still going to say, guys, for $25, this is a game changer. So your action is just butter smooth. The flipping action is nice and crisp. It has a upper moderate detent, guys. Plenty enough to store plenty of energy for nice crisp opening. The lockup is fantastic. There's absolutely no play in any direction, guys. You can see here is our lockup here, and it's probably about 30 or 40% on this liner lock. And then we will close this down and we will take a look at the centering, which is absolutely perfect. So the action, guys, $25. I'm going to keep saying it, $25. D2, G10, inset liner lock, deep carry pocket clip. Fabulous action, guys. I just keep going back to all this stuff, but these are the things that we are using to quantify and qualify these budget knives, the best of the budget knives. And here we have it in this Ganzo for less than half of most of these, the cost of most of these other budget brands. To me, that's a game changer. Now, as far as ergos and utility go, what we've got here, guys, not really a trailing point, but it is sort of a flat spine, and the point does rise up to meet the spine. So it's trailing point-esque, not really a drop point, but you got plenty of belly here to work with, guys. You've got plenty of flat, straight edge, even though the edge bevels weren't exactly the same. It is still very sharp from the factory. That's a very utilitarian blade style. Plenty of point here. It easily catches and pierces. Plenty of point to be stabby, pokey with. Plenty of great edge profile to work with. Heavy enough blade still to be tough, but not so thick to make it to have a super thick edge on this thing. The swedge is more mid-blade oriented here, and you can see where the two grinds meet. You've got quite a bit of thickness out, to within a half an inch of the tip here, so it should be fairly strong. You do have some pretty decent jimping at the base of the blade here on the spine, and one of the good things is you can see where this swedge cuts into this jimping and where the jimping flares out to the full thickness of the blade. That's sort of neat looking, guys. Pretty decent there on the blade, guys. Nice utilitarian blade shape. I got no issues there. The flipper tab has got some jimping on it, and it's good working jimping, guys. The handle, we go into it, it's straight. I mean, it's straight, guys. You got your forward grip, you got your reverse grip, you've got draw grip, you've got ice pick grip, you got hammer grip. I mean, it's a straight, wide open, neutral handle design, guys. The concaving on the sides of it, to me, you grip it and the pads of your fingers fall right into that concave part. It makes it very comfortable, guys. It is faceted all the way around the edge. The G10 is not sharp feeling at all anywhere on it. Very well machined, very well thought out, very well designed and rendered. It's just a great handle, guys. Plenty of room there for large hands. Just thick enough to be hand feeling, but not so thick that it's cumbersome. I mean, really, what else am I going to say about that, guys? I mean, you're looking at it right now. That's pretty much, you could just imagine, you could grip onto that any way you wanted to. You do have this G10 backspacer here, and it is done in black. And then you've got a lanyard pin here that's recessed. And, that's a great little design. There's, not a lanyard hole straight through. It's a nice pin to put it on. You do have the deep carry pocket clip. It's sort of a funny pocket clip design. It's where it folds over, you've got a lot of space here, and then it sort of curves and swoops down. And I think what they're going for here, without actually talking to anybody at Ganzo, when this pocket clip is sprung out over material, it can come out. You've got this full width right here, the offset from the handle itself, I think is what they're going for. I'm not sure. But in the pocket, it's great. It goes into the pocket good. It comes out of the pocket good, but it's got plenty of retention. In the hand, it's as comfortable as a pocket clip is going to be. I mean, I can feel it there, but I don't feel any hot spots. It's sort of set, it sits down in that concave section, guys. And, you've got a flat tip here. It's not pointed straight up, so it's not jabbing straight into your paw. I sort of like it. Your pivot hardware here, sort of a flat top domed pivot. That's not any big deal there. Yeah, it's, Torx hardware. T8 on the pivot, T6 back here on the body, T6 for the pocket clip. It's, guys, pretty standard stuff, for a knife that costs $50, except this one costs $25. Again, let's bring that Bestech in there. I mean, really, guys, let's look at these. Let's set them down here and look at them, and let's talk about the similarities. All right. They're very similar, guys. Look at this. D2 for your blade steel. Stainless hardware. G10 on your handle scales, both of them moderately sculpted. On the Bestech, it's radially sculpted, and then it's concaved on the Ganzo. Then you've got G10 backspacers on both of them. On the Bestech, you've got a pass-through hole for lanyard. On the Ganzo, you've got a pin. And then you go to the back side here, you've got stainless pocket clips, and come over here to the lock side, guys, and you've got recessed locks. Now, as I said on the Ganzo, the liners are not weight relieved, but let's check something out real quick here. And like I say, the Ganzo is 3.95 ounces, and the Bestech is 4.48. The Bestech, even though it has weight relieved liners, it is heavier than the Ganzo, guys. It's heavier. heavier, a half an ounce heavier for the most part, and they're very similar in size. You may, the best tech may be an 1/8 of an inch longer in the handle and a 1/16 of an inch longer in the blade. As far as stock thickness goes, let's look and see here. We'll compare those guys. Let's try to get some focus going here. They're very similar as far as stock thickness. I think that the liner material is slightly, just a few thousandths heavier on the best tech, but if it's just a few thousandths, that's all, guys. And then, of course, the biggest difference is in the bearing material: ceramic for the best tech, stainless for the Ganzo. But at half the cost, you can start to see why I am calling this knife the game changer. And it is, guys. It is a game changer for Ganzo themselves. Everything about this knife is a step up from every Ganzo I've ever handled, except for the edge grind, which is easily fixable by the end user. You just resharpen it. But it did come sharp, guys. It's sharp out of the box. But the fit and finish is just overall just better than any Ganzo that I've ever seen. They're doing the inset liners with the bearing pivot and the upgraded steel to D2 from 440C. And that really is, all of that is a game changer for Ganzo. Now, it's also a game changer in the budget arena. We originally, let's think back here. We originally got the G10 models from We Knives, and they were looking $115. And they were G10 over stainless liners. And they had, did they have D2 or VG10 for the blade steel? I think they were in D2. But they did have titanium small parts. A milled titanium pocket clip, milled backspacer, and titanium screws. So there you are at the $115 price point. And then basically we get the best tech stuff at around $52 to $55 with D2 blade steel, G10 over stainless liners, ceramic bearing and detent, and then stainless hardware. Then we got the Civivi stuff. And then you're looking at a little bit better stainless in 9CR, Chinese stainless for the blade steel with G10 handles over stainless liners and steel bearings. And now at $25, we're looking at this Ganzo Firebird FH11. And guys, that's why this is a game changer. It is giving you nearly everything any of those knives is giving you, with fantastic fit and finish, fantastic action, guys, a great blade steel. Yeah, this is a great knife. And Babs on Blades can wholeheartedly recommend this knife. And I'm going to say this. A lot of people have a problem with Ganzo products. I'm not one of them. But I no longer, I made a decision a long time ago, I was no longer going to review Ganzo products that were copies of other designs. And the reason I did not want to do that anymore is because Ganzo started doing original designs and they were good. And when a manufacturer starts doing good original designs, there's no reason to make copies anymore. They need to move forward doing only original designs. They've proven they can do it. And that's why I don't have a problem reviewing Ganzo products, guys. All right, well, let's get this over with. This is going to be a recommended knife from Ganzo. And as always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.